When you think of Stoicism, what comes to mind? We often think of patience or endurance, keeping calm under pressure, putting up an emotionless front. But the dictionary definition of Stoicism is the teaching of virtue, the teaching of the highest good, a teaching taught from the wisest. Preconceptions often fog our ideas of a particular word or feeling that push us away from finding out the beauty of a concept. See past your initial thoughts and dig deeper into what Stoicism means to you and the potential it holds to change your life. The Stoics provided a consolidated account of the world, built from ideals of logic, monistic, physics, and naturalistic ethics, focusing the importance on human knowledge. Stoicism teaches the development of self-control and fortitude as a means of overcoming destructive emotions. By practicing Stoicism, we cultivate an attitude of calm indifference to external states. Stoicism is a tool to build your human experience, both internally and externally. Where did this ancient philosophy emerge from? Zeno of Citium, best known as the original Stoic and founder of the Stoic school of philosophy. His teachings flourished and were very popular in the Hellenistic period through to the Roman era. Zeno was born in Citium, which is modern-day Cyprus, and began his teachings in Athens. His disciples were originally known as Zenonians, but they came to be known as the well-renowned Stoics. The name Stoicism comes from the Stoa Poikile, translated to painted porch, which was an open market in Athens where the Stoics would meet and teach philosophy. The teachings were developed as a refinement from Cynicism, teaching the development of self-control and fortitude. Cynicism is a philosophy for outsiders, allowing people to be free from self-deception and develop an independent mind and spirit. Cynicism was replaced by Stoicism for the most part because of Zeno's influence. Socrates was also a huge important precursor to Stoicism. It was even said that Zeno was inspired to become a philosopher after a chance of reading Book 2 from Xenophon's Memorabilia of Socrates. Zeno's most influential follower was Chrysippus. Chrysippus was accountable for the construction of what is now called Stoicism. From the beginning, Chrysippus showed interest in both constructing and translating philosophical arguments. Using Zeno's work, he created what would come to be known as the basis of Stoicism. Chrysippus was an expert and prolific writer in the field of logic, theory of knowledge, ethics, and physics. And also, he died laughing. The most famous Stoics today are Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor from 161 to 180 AD, who was one of the most respected emperors in Roman history. Seneca the Younger, a playwright and major philosophical figure of the Roman imperial period, and Epictetus, a Greek philosopher of the 1st and early 2nd century. These Stoics marked out the future. Through their famous writing and beliefs, these three philosophers and others were able to mark out a new way of life, a life striving towards self-improvement. In the priest Maxwell Staniforth's introduction of the Penguin Classic edition of the Meditations, he discussed the intense impact Stoicism had on Christianity. Many early Christian writers employed some of the central philosophical concepts of Stoicism. Both Stoicism and Christianity assert an inner freedom in the face of an external world. However, The rise of Christianity in the 1st century led to the decline and fading of Stoic philosophy, and the school of Stoicism was shut down. Through Stoicism, what can you learn? The teachings of Stoicism are often compared to the teachings of Buddhism. Buddhism was founded in the present-day Nepal around 500 BC. Both teachings advocate seeking happiness from an internal source. Both systems can be used to improve your life and make you a calmer and wiser person. The Stoics teach that one should always have their attention focused on the present moment, just like Buddhism. Epictetus advocated an unconditional surrender to the course of nature. Being in line with nature and accepting all of the things that happen in life is one of the most important lessons. Virtue consists in a will that is in agreement with nature. Adiaphora, a word borrowed from the Greek, meaning things that are indifferent. The terms explain that through ascetic practices which help one to be free from influences, such as wealth, fame, and power, that have no value in nature, to seek these things we fall out of line with nature. These teachings, the focus on acceptance and adiaphora, were all lessons that were taught in order to strive towards inner peace and apatheia. Apatheia, in Stoicism, refers to a state of mind in which you aren't disturbed by the passions. The meaning contrasts that of the modern English definition of apathy. Apatheia meant getting rid of the tendency to react emotionally or egotistically to the external events, the things that cannot be controlled. Apatheia was the soul's freedom from emotions and achieved when the soul reaches its most pure state, inner calm. The teachings of the Stoics follow a simple foundation: the pursuit of inner peace. Stoics believed there were 4 virtues: wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice. Wisdom was defined as good sense, calculation, quick-wittedness, discretion, and resourcefulness. Justice is subdivided into piety, honesty, equity, and fair dealing. Courage is majestic, it's mighty. Temperance is the knowledge that abundance comes from having what is essential. The term is often used interchangeably with self-control. Of the 4, justice was most important. It was seen as the source of all other virtues. He who is making progress has learned that desire is for things good, and that aversion is for things evil, and further, that peace and calm are only achieved as a man gets the things he wants and avoids the things he doesn't want. Since virtue is rewarded with happiness, calm, and serenity, progress towards virtue is progress towards its benefits, and this progress is always a step towards perfection. Whatever situation we are in, Stoicism helps us accept them and get over them. A real Stoic will never allow their feelings to undermine their ability to reason. The chief task in life is simply this: to identify and separate matters so that I can say clearly to myself which are externals not under my control and which have to do with the choices I actually control. Life is difficult, but the main practices of Stoicism are remembering what is within our control and what is not. Once you let something outside of your control affect your peace of mind, it will affect your inner calm. A Stoic believes they don't control the world around them, only how they respond. And you must always respond with courage, temperance, wisdom, and justice. We know life is unpredictable. We should allow virtue to guide us. Stoicism is an ancient philosophy that can be practiced by anyone to increase your gratitude and joy. No matter who you are, where you have been, and how old you are, everyone has the ability to strive towards inner peace. Anyone can be virtuous. Stoicism has also had a massive effect on modern therapy. Cognitive behavioural therapy, or CBT for short, is a short-term therapy technique that can help people find new ways to behave by changing their thought patterns. CBT works on the basis that the way we think and interpret life's events around us affect the way we behave, and ultimately, how we feel. Stoicism and CBT share an emphasis on using logic and reasoning in order to overcome emotional difficulties. Stoicism doesn't allow pleasure or pain to motivate your actions. It accepts each moment as it is. It lives a virtuous life by treating others fairly, and it lives in accordance with nature. Zeno said that in order to flourish, you must exhibit the will to be attracted by things like sparkly objects or the fear of death. We are in control of our emotions, and emotions are not reactions, but creations inspired by past experiences. Aurelius also spoke about the suppression of automatic response, but instead choosing logic over irrational thinking. CBT techniques align with Stoicism in understanding that emotions and beliefs are not gained from separate processes. How we experience that feeling is not separate from the context that causes it. The uses and successes of CBT prove the power that Stoicism has, the influence its teachings have had on the future. Stoicism is a way of being. It's not an addition to your life, it's a transformation. Stoicism is the pursuit of eudaimonia, a phrase that is commonly translated as happiness or welfare. Eudaimonia consists of good performance of the characteristic functions of humans. Aristotle believes that the characteristic functions of human beings, which distinguish them from all other things, is our ability to reason. Stoicism teaches us the importance of this characteristic, telling us that our control is our superpower. As humans, it's in our nature to strive for the best. It's in our nature to look for the highest good in ourselves. Stoicism channels this nature, channels this need, and explains the power of our actions and emotions. By using Stoicism, the best arise from the ashes. It's time built. Whilst life is uncertain, we do know what we have to do in order to face uncertainty head on. Stoicism is aimed at doing what is right, and by doing so, we become more resilient to the inevitable changes that life throws at us. The universe is flux, life is opinion. Marcus Aurelius. Thank you for listening to the first lesson on your journey through Stoicism. By embarking on these lessons, just like the great Stoics of history, you are now a Stoic. All books mentioned in this lesson will be in the description below. If you would like to learn more on Stoicism, please feel free to follow me at Everyday Stoic, where I write daily quotes and Stoic affirmations. I hope you have a wonderful day, and remember, you too are a Stoic.